tonight. Just kidding. Hey, Mr. Hopkins. That was me attempting to sing with my stapler. Alright, so I actually forgot to give you a warm welcome. This is the Blank Inker family basement. It's crowded with laundry and 7 bikes. Yeah, it's usually better looking than this. It's not a good representation of the rest of the house, but you don't care because it's my cave, but not really, not at all. Just a little bit though. Alright, so we are here again to talk about spiritual well-being. The maturation of higher consciousness through strong, nurturing relationships with both the self and others, the development of a strong personal value system, and a meaningful purpose in life. That's some deep stuff. Oh my god, hold on. Sam! Sam!
What do you want? Yeah, what? Yeah, nigga. What are you doing?
Making a video.
Oh, you said hi?
Alright. I'm back. So, maturation of higher consciousness. Okay. Let's start with the relationship I have with myself. Me, we're pretty tight. I think that the relationship I have with myself consists mostly of just reminding myself things I know about myself. So, like, an example of that is those moments where you say, I know myself better than to do this, or if I know I'm not going to get any work done if I bring it to X place. Things like that. Things where, you know better, you know. And I think I have a pretty good relationship with myself because I think I don't really have those moments where I thrust myself into a situation and say, I don't know how I'm going to feel, but I'm going to do this. It's mostly just me not knowing the outcome of a situation, but knowing my emotional outcome with myself. But I think I have a pretty strong relationship with myself because of that, because I know what I'm going to do, because I can predict my own feelings. And I think that sometimes I'm lacking in like the nurturing the relationship with myself. Sometimes I feel like I need more alone time to sort of just be, you know. But I will tell you that I think the time where I get the most of that, the most good quality me time, is when I'm shot by myself, but that kind of makes me feel lonely. So scratch that. But definitely when I walk my dog by myself without my iPod or my cell phone, that's the best. Because you have the company of your dog, but just like the silence is really just golden, you know? I feel like there's that presence that you might need to like think about things and to encourage you to have that conversation with yourself, but at the same time, there's not really any talking. There's just some intrapersonal thinking going on, which I like. But I'm someone who just really doesn't like to be alone, and I'm someone who can also, I think, reflect upon myself pretty well when I'm with other people. Nurturing relationships with others. I have some of the best friends you could ever ask for. And although some of those relationships might be troubled at points, that happens. Everyone. There's no perfect relationship ever. And if it is, then you're an alien and I'm excommunicating you. Just kidding. I mean, it just doesn't happen. And I like that because if it, those hardships help me also reflect back upon myself and how if I'm mad at someone for the way they're dealing with something, it kind of tells me, well, how would I feel and how would I want them to feel too. So I think that your relationship with others helps build on the relationship you have with yourself. As for a strong personal value system, there are things where I know that's not okay with me. Never. That is an official no to you, whoever you might be. I don't know, prospective friend, boyfriend, whatever. But that is what's it? There's a Sex and the City episode about this, and I'm trying to think of what she says. The official. Hold on, give me a second. What you call it? TV shows. I forget. Carrie Bradshaw, You Are My Life, but I just forget what you call it. But it's like an official no. There are those things where you say, if you say the following phrase, or if you think the following belief, I don't like you, go away, get out of my face. So for me, let's see. What are those things? Even though, it sounds ridiculous and, really, too strong of a belief, it's not like that because I just have some things where it's like, no way. Let's see, one of those things, easy one. I have an uncle who is mentally retarded, and from 6th grade, when kids started saying, oh, dude, that's so retarded, or whatever, it makes me just want to, scratch some eyeballs out, vomit, do all these disgusting things at the same time because I hate it when people do that. Because it's like, are you serious right now? It's one thing if you're calling someone an ass face. I mean, no one cares because that doesn't really, no one actually has an ass face. But, I mean, it's it hits way too close to home for me when people say that. And it's just generally not okay. That, unfortunately, is the situation with some people. And to use it out of context like that is just disgusting and terrible and ignorant and just don't make me slap you because you don't want that. Then, let's see, what else do I believe in? I believe strongly in the fact that despite the fact I'm a pretty religious person, I partake in many Jewish activities and know many Jewish people, and I've been going to a Jewish camp for ever and will be working there this summer. Religion can wreck people. Not cool. Not cool. Believe what you want about God, great. Just don't get it in people's faces. Don't try and force it on other people. Don't point your finger and be like, oh, religion told me to do this, so it's okay. No, not okay. Get out of here. Go home. Or don't go home because that's where other people do that too, I guess. It's religion is not a blanket you can hide under. It's not okay. And also, it shouldn't be a fence. You don't want religion to fence you in with other people and fence other people out. And that leads me to another strong belief I have, which is my parents, when I was a little kid and when my brother was a little kid, wanted to send us to Solomon Schechter Day School. And I'm sure if they had, we probably would have gone there until middle school and maybe to GAN for high school. But and I know kids who went there and who loved it. Great, I'm happy you've had a great experience. Not okay with me. I don't do religious schools. I think it's segregating, honestly. It's why don't we have black and white schools? Why? Tell me. It's because that's the same thing to me. And it's just terrible. I just think it's awful. because all it does is limit kids off and say, oh, this is how all Jewish kids act. And if you want to go see someone else, then you can, but they might not act like all these beautiful Jewish kids we've admitted into our school. It's like, no, gross, yuck, terrible. No, don't do that. That is just limiting people. That makes people more ignorant and awful and sour and bigoted. No, don't do it. Not cool. And I mean, I'm sure that if my parents had sent my brother and I there, I would have loved it and all this other stuff. But it's like, are you serious? I do so many things that involve my religion already. Why do I need to go to a school where everyone else around me is the same? It's like, although my religious identity is very important to me, that doesn't mean I have to limit myself like that. So that's another strong personal belief. And I think that just most of those beliefs just come from seeing other people, experiencing different things, And I wouldn't have had that rule to myself about, never ever say the word retarded out of context if I hadn't been put in a position where I had a close family member who influenced that, So I think that those strong personal values are built on your background and on further future experiences and your wants too. Like, I don't want to ever have to I don't ever want to have to be put in a position where I have to be outside of that religious fence or something. Like, I don't want that, so I know that I don't believe in putting that fence up in the first place. And that also future me. Where am I going? I am going to the place where those beliefs lead me, wherever they may be, and I am probably also going to a place where I will build more of those strong beliefs, because that's what life is, isn't it? It's about learning stuff and believing in what you learn, believing that X event in history is not okay, believing that, all right, well, I don't want to do this with my life, so that's not a really good example. I could believe that, you know what? I think that math is the biggest waste of time. I think that, that's not really a strong belief, but still, it's a belief in itself. I mean, if you have these really strong, pungent feelings, but that is kind of defenseless and useless. But I don't know. I think that those beliefs lead you to a place, and it's not one set place. You're never done. There's that saying, it's called, or that quote, learning never stops until the coffin lid closes. And I think that's so true, and that's learning, building beliefs, same thing. And I think that pushes you towards finding your meaningful purpose. And you know what? Some people never find a purpose in their own life, but that mission of finding that purpose of someone's life is left to the people who they left. I mean, if you end up finding the purpose in your life, then you have no motivation to do anything else. Then you're like some pretentious person who expects the world to revolve around that meaning, that belief system, and I don't like that either. I think that you shouldn't strive to find a meaning and a purpose in everything, because then once you do, you don't want to be around certain people and things and events anymore, and that just closes you off. So I think that life is just this never-ending chain of events, and if you get somewhere that you think is the end, you're not at the end yet, because if you were at the end, you'd be dead. So that's just me. All right, well, this has been a fun time, Mr. Hopkins, and I guess I will catch you later, bud. Bye.